look at Yuli and Yavari for a minute, kind of awkwardly, like he's shifting from one leg to the other, and it's like, can you guys pretend to not be here for a minute?
Sure, like close our ears, or what do you want us?
Not look at me for a minute?
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Yuvari turns on her heel immediately, maybe walks a few paces away. You're good, she says as she's like covering her hands over her ears.
Yulia will basically mimic Yavari.
Gosh. So he'll turn towards Resh and kind of lean back on his heels and then pitch forward, and he's like, isn't it gonna be kind of obvious that you were the one who helped us get out?
Perhaps. The dungeons, at the very least, usually fall under Lithrana's responsibilities, but I'm sure I shall be implicated either way.
But Mother will be angry at you and will punish you, right?
Resh just gives a small shrug of his shoulders. So be it.
No. I don't want you taking the fall for this. This is my mistake.
Well, you are certainly not staying here to...
Can you let me be half human for a minute without the logic? I know, it's the Underdark. Drow don't have feelings. I get it. You're disgusted by the mere suggestion, but I don't want anything bad to happen to you. So, he'll glance toward Yuli and Yavari and making sure that neither of them are hopefully listening. I'll just be like, look, I lost Zres because I made some really stupid mistakes. And I didn't stop him when I should have. And he'll hold up both of his hands and he'll say, I don't... Why don't you come with us?
Resh just stands there for a long moment, standing in his usual position with like his hands folded behind his back as he looks down at Narzselas. And for a brief moment, as you mentioned Zres, you can almost see kind of this shift in his facial expression, but it's hard to really catch what emotion it is. You know, some of his muscles seem to kind of relax at the mention of your brother. And...
Oh, go ahead.
No.
No, go ahead.
And he lets out a breath through his nose as his gaze kind of flickers momentarily to the side. And he finally says, I'm not sure if that is wise.
Narzselas will very suddenly bridge this gap between the two of them with one of his left hand and grasp onto one of Resh's bracers and just hold it. And he'll just lean forward and he'll say in this very, very serious tone, he's like, I can't do this by myself. I have very likely just lost all of my friends trying to keep them alive. They're never going to trust me again. And I needed Zres, and he's gone. And I need you. Please.
And Resh stands there, and you see the corner of his mouth kind of curl slightly. And he relaxes his stance to let his arms fall to his side as he gives yet another sigh. Very well.
Okay. Where? No. If, can you meet us at Kasna's?
I shall. I will see to it you will have as much time as I'm able to get.
Thank you. And Resh. Please don't betray me.
Oh.
Ooh.
Out of all of our family members, I would have no reason to do that to you.
There is something that I should tell you about Kasna. And he'll turn toward both Yulia and Yavari, and he'll say, "Don't stare."
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, sure, it sounds easy.
Cool.
The rest of you have been freed out of prison by Imran, which would be Arca, Taffy, Tove, Runarian, and the Princess Yalgish.
Oh boy.
So Imran has just come to bust you guys out, and surprisingly, as you make your way through the prison, there are no guards to be found. As you know, Taffy and Arca, you guys would have seen earlier, Resh kind of walk by briefly and call the guards away. Which was strange, but hey, it's helpful now. As you guys make your way out of the house and into a side courtyard where Imran will kind of motion for you all to get low and kind of crouch down towards one of the walls so you are unseen by passerby. And he'll address you all in common as he'll say, we are going to a friend's house to wait for Narzselas. Okay?
All right. This so this friend. Who exactly are they?
Kasna.
Kesna. Okay.
Kasna. She's very pretty, but don't stare.
Oh, okay. All right. Kind of nervous.
And, you know, as you go, you definitely hear people milling about from the next streets over, but Imran is very careful as he'll just follow the wall and kind of motions on occasion for you all to stop and wait before, like, continuing onward. As you make your way through this very large and confusing city. You continue down, passing a couple of houses, and before you now stands a large circular building, and this Imran seems a little nervous to get approach. As you can tell, there's a little more foot traffic in and out of here at this time. And from within this circular building here, you can hear a lot of voices screaming and shouting and cheering, and Imran kind of turns to you guys and says, fighting pits, definitely avoid.
Oh.
Oh, wonderful.
You can vaguely hear like a monster screech before there's suddenly a lot of cheers from the watching audience. And he'll lead you off to the side to a staircase that will lead upwards to another building connected to it behind the forge. And it's a rather narrow walkway, so there's really only one of you able to ascend at a time. As Imran will go up to the very top to a door and knock quickly upon it very quietly but very rapidly. And you'll hear a woman's voice call from inside and say, "I'm closed at the moment." Or you won't understand what she says because she's speaking in Drowic, unfortunately. But Imran will respond back in Drow and say, "Casnuts, Imran, it's an emergency." Imran, go away. Please, Casna, it's really, really important, and it has to do with Narzselas, and immediately, as soon as you can understand Narzselas' name coming from Imran, as soon as he mentions your half-drow friend, you hear a few things clutter from inside as whoever was in there starts to move around. And soon enough, you hear the door unlock and open just a crack as you see a single red eye kind of staring out from the darkness of the room within. And she's just glaring at Imran as he looks very uncomfortable and just gives a very nervous smile to this person from behind the door. And he'll say, I'm sorry. I thought maybe Narzselas would have told you first. But we're waiting for him to catch up. And she'll kind of look past him to the rest of you. She kind of looks over each one of you, before looking back at Imran and giving a huff. She says, "Oh, fine, but don't expect me to be nice to everyone. Okay, thank you. And the door closes as another lock is undone, and soon will swing open into what is a very dark and very cramped apartment. But Imran will kind of motion for you all to come inside. It opens up into what could really be best described as like a studio apartment where, there is a bed set up against a wall with a small divider that leads into what looks to be kind of a little bathroom area. There's one other corner has a couple of counters on it with a stove that makes up the kitchen. And everything in the house, the first thing you kind of notice, it's very messy and unorganized. You see there's just kind of random stuff laying all over the place. There are piles of clothes both on the bed and, over a couple of the chairs next to it. And as you walk in, you are greeted by the sight of a female drow. She's around Imran's height, maybe a few inches taller, with Imran being only 5 feet tall, same as Arca. Short kings. Short kings. She has very long, somewhat unkempt red hair that falls around her shoulders and nearly reaches her waist. That's just kind of let loose to hang around her. She's currently wrapped in a black and blue robe that covers her figure, but even with most of it covered, she is, definitely a very beautiful woman. And looking upon her face, I mean, for some of you, this is probably one of the most gorgeous people you have ever seen with, clear, dark skin. She has the pointed ears, of course, of a drow and red eyes that look over you all with distaste and distrust. But there is beauty there. But what particularly catches your attention, which might be why Imran told you not to stare, is there is, from what you can see, though her hair partially covers it, there is a scar that runs from her temple down her cheek and then down over her lips. It's very noticeable and looks awful. seems to cut through this natural beauty upon her face. And Imran just kind of looks over you all and says, everyone, Kazna, and he'll kind of point to all of you in turn as he introduces you. So, Taffy, Arka, Hove, Ari, and he'll look at Nyalkish and isn't quite sure he knows her name. He just says, and dragon. And Nyalkish will kind of pipe up quietly and say, Nia's fine. Oh, Nia. She'll kind of motion Imran over as her gaze seems to be lingering upon Ari and Tove. And she'll ask him something in Drow. And Imran looks suddenly awkward and embarrassed as his purple cheeks seem to turn an even darker shade of purple. He'll go over to Renarian and oh god.
Oh boy.
And he'll ask Ari. He'll say, and he'll speak in Drow to Ari just to kind of see if he understands. Kester wants to know, that she's interested if you're interested. And Ari kind of looks at Imran for a moment.
Whoa! And then Tove just dove on Kazna.
He looks at Imran for a moment, looks over
Roll
to
for
Kazna,
initiative.
looks over to Kazna, who's looking at him with like this sweet smile. Not really sweet, very haha. Seductive almost.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh
And he looks back to Imran as he'll respond in common. Well, I appreciate the offer, but he'll reach over to Tove, who I imagine he sat beside, and just kind of takes Tove's hand. So say, Tove and I are already. Imran will say this time in common, oh, well, that's not a problem.
Oh my god. Catherine really said, I can take both of them, but not in a fight.
Oh god. And
Coliseum just dropped.
Oh yeah. New Coliseum. And Tove, who didn't hear Imran's question, is trying to piece together what's happening. It's just looking between Imran and Ari. and then looking over at Kasnab, and then looking back
Who's giving
at Ari.
her that same look.
Tessa said, I have two hands.
He turns toward the rest of the party with this wide-eyed sort of doe stare, and he says, "Hi."
So immediately, Taffy pops up, turns around, looks at Narzselas. He's like, "Oh, you made it. Okay. See, cool. See, we're all here. We're all good." And he kind of starts to approach Narzselas and is like, "It's all part of a plan, right? Like you you can tell us now."
Okay, can you calm down? you're okay. Listen. Ooh, and he'll look from there's Imran, there's Yulia, Yavari, Taffy, Arka. He briefly glances at Ari before looking down and skips over Tove. And he just says, Okay, look, I don't know what to say. My siblings can smell a lie. And I was afraid that if I told you all that you wouldn't act right. And, after the war, humans and elves and everyone weren't allowed down here anymore. And look, Taffy would have been a slave, and Arca would have been made a slave, and the rest of you would have been killed, especially Ori and Tove. I said some really awful things. I don't blame any of you if you don't want me traveling with you anymore. I will get you out of the Underdark, and I will go about my way. And, the most important thing to me was making sure that none of you got killed.
Taffy's kind of holding his breath.
It's like if you want to scream at me or yell at me or hit me, I just do it. I understand. I
Here's the
Ari
thing.
will. I'm sorry. Ari will kind of stand up at that point. And he just has this look of concern over his face as he looks over at Narzselas, and he'll say, after all of that, I didn't think you would do something like that, and I'm just glad that was true. But I'm just glad everyone's all right. You included, Narzselas. At least alive.
yeah.
I understand why you couldn't tell us.
What about the rest of you?
Taffy slides on in, and he's like, "Well, hey, that was a really great performance, and you almost had me going there for a little bit, but hey, we totally trusted you, absolutely, and hey, it all worked out. We got out of here, and that was a heck of a plan, man. Not even I could have come up with something as amazing as that." Right, guys? As he turns around, it's like he hasn't let go of his breath yet. Like he's just been holding on to tension as he's just like,
Taffy, breathe. Breathe.
Everything's fine. We're all together.
I understand.
And we'll be out of here.
Not all of you trust
Yeah, through this, Arca has, ever since Narzselas walked into the room, Arca has kind of been tapping his talons against the floor slowly. And he does not look pleased, though the tapping does kind of slow, as he sees that Narzselas obviously feels really beat up about it and is apologetic, but eventually he kind of just sighs and says, I understand, but let me feel mad about it for a little bit longer. And I understand you did what you had to do, and that you did ultimately help us out of a really bad situation, but just give me a bit.
Yeah. Hasna, since we're here, I know I've asked a lot from you, but can I maybe ask for one more thing?
She kind of looks over at you and at first doesn't seem like she wants to respond, but just huffs and rolls her eyes. She says, "Fine, kid, what do you want?"
I'll give you a platinum piece for it.
That gets her interest. She'll say,
My kind of gal.
"Very well, what do you want?"
You wouldn't happen to have any great axes with magical properties on them, would you?
She looks him up and down with a very judgmental look as she says, "For you?"
No, not for... Okay, first of all, rude. I'm sure I
You're-
could lift it with no problem.
I doubt that.
God, tall. The last time you saw me, I was like 2 feet shorter.
Yes, and you're still just as scrawny. She'll kind of gather up her ropes and get up to her feet. Say, I think I have something down in my forge. I'll be back. And she'll she'll walk over to the door and leave as she'll descend down back to her forge to rummage around for a bit.
And he'll turn toward Arca for a minute. He's like, I'm not trying to buy you off. I just realized when we were in Darkwood that you didn't really get anything new, so I asked Kasna. Kasna's a blacksmith. She made armor and weapons for one of my brothers so that they could fight in the blood pits. I asked if she had any great axes with magical properties that might help with fighting monsters from the Underdark here, since, you know, enchanted stuff down here tends to help.
Oh. Well, Arca seems caught off guard by that. But he does kind of like bow his head slightly in acknowledgement. He says, "It's appreciated. Thank you."
Yeah,
Apology accepted.
Any of you guys afraid of bugs?
So
Not in particular.
Taffy's like, well, not that. And he stops, and his eyes narrow. How big are the bugs?
Okay, oh, Taffy, let's say 25 feet tall.
Then I might be a smidge concerned.
Come again?
Okay, maybe closer to 40.
Oh! Oh, Father, help us all.
Okay, they don't. This one doesn't eat people.
Okay, well, that's a good start.
It also goes really, really fast. Okay, as I was saying, if anyone here is afraid of bugs, you may have some problems.
As long as it doesn't try and eat me, I think I'll be okay.
No, but you are gonna have to touch it.
Why?
Imran will
Why?
pipe up at this point and say, "Bug is our ride."
Oh,
Oh.
Oh,
neat.
Ah.
I mean, hey, I've never ridden a bug before. How bad could it be?
There are straps for you to hold on to.
Oh, good. Neat. There's straps we can hold on to.
wow, that makes it so much better.
You'll see she's actually at the foot of the stairs, carrying a great axe over her shoulder, and looking a little more disgruntled than when last you saw her. And she'll walk up to you and she'll say, "Your brother's here."
What buddy, you should come down into the forge so that you can be properly acquainted.
Oh, he says this to the party.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, right, and then he'll take his mind off of the horrifying prospect of trying to ride a giant bug that may eat them, and go on to go meet Resh.
And do you all get up to go downstairs?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to a will.
All right,
Um.
excellent. Oh, what was that, Rissa?
Yulia, upon seeing Kazna, holding this axe, their cheeks go red again, and then they'll turn to Yavari and basically say in Infernal, "She's hot and she's strong. Please end me. I can't."
Yavari just cannot help herself. She just laughs so hard. Like, it's okay. It's fine. Having a crush. It's adorable. Of course, just an Infernal, so nobody else in the room could probably understand. But she goes, yeah, she is hot, but like, up here, down here, focus. You gotta get out of here.
I hope the 6 hours goes quick then.
Alright, and then you all descend the stairs, and I imagine Kazna will pass off the great axe to Arca. So Arca, you get a new great axe, which I'm gonna
Nice.
put in your inventory.
Thank you.
Oh, gosh.
That's appreciated.
Oh,
Yeah, he takes the great axe and he experimentally weighs it in his hands. And he nods to Kazna with kind of a look of respect in his eyes. He appreciates the craftsmanship, and he silently acknowledges that. He says, "You do fine work."
and as you take this great axe, it's very much drow in design. It has a black metal blade, and I don't know what you'd call it. I think pommel. The part of it that you hold is wrapped in very fine purple leather. And she'll smile confidently to you as you admire her work, and she'll say, in common, "Oh, glad someone has an eye for craftsmanship." And he'll then kind of settle his gaze on Ari, and it's a little odd seeing the two, as Resh, for a drow, is very tall, standing at a good 6 feet, whereas Wood Elf Ari over here is a fair few inches taller than he is. But even still, Ari looks nervous, as Resh just stares him down for a very long moment. And Ari will speak up and say, "I understand history, Resh, but perhaps we can leave that behind us. I have no interest in starting a fight with you at this point." And Resh is quiet for a very long moment before he will finally say, "For just you, Valdvaniel, I do not hold the war as you being accountable for it. So, we shall leave it in the past." And Ari seems to give a small sigh of relief. As he relaxes.
All right, so guys, we are currently in a part of the city called Ilharesen Batleb. We will need to go through another part of the city called Alerdama, and then once we get there, we need to go to the Temple of Lolth. So this is gonna be so fun. We're gonna have such a fun time. Everybody ready? Let's go!
Yep, and
Okay. Wait. Hold on 1 second. What, the Temple of Lolth?
We're not going inside of it. We're just going up to it. It's fine. It's fine. Just don't touch it. Just don't try to go inside of it. You won't turn into a spider, okay?
Oh, what?
oh, is that one of the
What?
spider
Oh.
gods?
No.
Well,
He'll turn towards Taffy and he'll say, "Oh, Lolth is the one who made the draft.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Oh.
He's
Oh.
well, really. I mean, Rush probably knows the lore a lot better than me. So it's Lolth and her daughter Adistrai, who you've probably heard her name before. And then there's her son Varan, who is the god of Drow, male Drow and half Drow. And then Lolth is the Spider Queen Weaver, who just kind of made everybody, and also if you make her mad, she turns you into something with a lot of legs.
Oh, delightful.
I don't suppose
That's
making her
great.
mad includes walking into her temple, does it?
If you're a man, yes.
Oh, I'm one of those.
I mean, look at it this way. If you turn into a Drider, you don't have to worry about that anymore.
Oh. So,
Yeah, it shouldn't be a worry in the first place.
oh.
I don't actually know if a Tabaxi can turn into a Drider. That'd be a Tabaxider. What even is that? Fiery spider. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked.
Taffy's just frozen right now. At the
Listen.
thought of, like, cat spider.
As long as you guys don't go inside of the temple or say anything bad about Lolth while you're down here, or act in an unpious manner, or do what I did and try to tell Kazna what to do because Kazna's a woman and I made a mistake.
Oh, that's a
we're not.
lot of criteria.
Yeah. You see, men aren't allowed to question them. Ah, that was scary. Can we go?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, I'm ready to leave.
Yeah.
Anybody wanna go?
Yeah.
Why did, no offense, but why did she pick you? I'm assuming she picked you, given,
Yeah.
what you said.
Yeah. Well, actually, my mother wanted to give me to her because I didn't do anything wrong, and so she had no reason to treat me like shit. So, you damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Ah,
I mean, Resh was given to House Doret years ago before I was even born, but he's still here for some reason.
what reason would that be? Arca kind of like says as he turns to face Resh.
Well, after I was given to House Doret, I moved to Mithranve, but after the death of our middle brother Zres, I was called back to our family home to take up my old position once more as the House Master Assassin, as Zres held that title while I was not there.
Oh,
Yeah.
and here Arca kind of like bows his head slightly and like, kind of like a acknowledgement that he's stumbled into a heavy topic, and he says, "Apologies, Narzselas, you never mentioned that." Well, I can understand. I don't need to pry anyway, but I didn't know. My apologies.
It's fine, Marga. I mean, it's not really something that we talk about a lot, and it's really just all the more reason that both Resh and I need to get out of the city, as my brother was killed by our mother.
Erica looks horrified.
I barely remember it now. I was there, but he'll pause and just kind of look up at the waterfall for a minute and frown. He's just like, anyway,
As you guys come up towards the Temple of Lolth, there are, of course, a staircase winding its way up the sheer cliffside up to the temple proper. But right before that is a rather grand waterfall beneath, from your viewpoint, what's probably like some sort of outer courtyard that you can kind of see from platform above the waterfall. And Imran will kind of lead you guys over to the steps, over to the wall that kind of keeps people from falling over into the river. And you'll see, as he motions you guys closer, there are some rocks that come up right against the wall that lead to the waterfall, where there seems like there's probably just enough room on the side of it that you could get through without getting too horribly wet. And he will hop down onto these rocks and kind of motion for everyone to quickly follow after him across the river and up to the waterfall to go beneath it to the other side. As you go underneath this waterfall, carefully picking your way across the rocks, it leads back rather than against the cliff face. It opens up into a tunnel, which Imran kind of leads the way through. It's rather dark in here, very damp, and the floor is quite slick, as it kind of takes your strength and dexterity to keep you from falling over onto your face.
Oh boy.
And the path you take, there's like a gentle slope downwards to it as you continue through this tunnel. And the further away you get from the waterfall, the darker and darker it gets. At this point. And as it does get darker, Imran kind of pauses for a moment and looks back at everyone as he'll say, no lights. Hold on to friend if you must. Eventually, it opens up into a bit of a larger cave. It's still incredibly dark, but thankfully in here, a couple of glow shrooms and like glowing moss are growing along the walls and floor. And Imran at this point will go up to one of them and withdraw a dagger from his side. And you'll see he carves off a few large chunks of one of the mushrooms that he then attempts to shove into a bag and manages to somehow get a few like good fist-sized pieces in there before he can't close the top of his bag anymore. And then Imran will speak and Narzselas translates as, all right, everyone, some rules we have to go over before we go down here. So I'm trying to imitate Narzselas' voice. You're going into the undersea, one of the most terrifying places in all of the world. We will be riding on top of a water strider. Please do not poke it, harm it, try to speak to it, or otherwise distract it. Really, Imran? We will be moving very quickly across the water, and it will need to keep its focus so we don't get lost and we don't get eaten by anything else down there. Water strider will not eat you. Imran really wants me to tell you guys that. They will not eat you. Get it, Imran, I get it. You'll hear voices in your heads. Don't acknowledge them or reply to them. Don't give them the time of day. Ignore them and focus on everyone else. speak with the people in front of you. Whatever you can do to not listen to the voices that are going to be in your mind.
Um,
Oh boy.
I should
Okay.
float across the ocean.
okay.
I have to
That's a lot
say,
to take in.
my least favorite mode of transportation so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
The god's eye does not look bad right now.
Truly.
And Narzselas still continues, as does Imran. You may also see some weird shit in the water. Don't look at it. Or look away if you see something there. You might... Imran, get it, okay? Fine. Don't jump in the water. Don't look at anything in the water. Don't acknowledge anything is there. Unless you're happy to go dying, in which case, have at it.
Oh God.
And please do not try to get the attention of any of the animals down there. It will be very, very bad. Also, no lights or fire of any sort, as we want it as dark as possible. Lighting is what will get things to notice us. Try to keep your voices quiet. Conversation is good, but don't yell at each other. And do I have to say it like that, Imran? Imran just gives Narzselas like this exasperated look and shrug of his shoulders. Please remember to keep all hands and other extremities on top of the water strider at all times. As something may come up and eat it if it's too far over the water strider's back. Please ensure you hold on to something. They have bits of them that stick up from their backs, and there is a series of leather straps you can hold on to. Please remain seated during the length.
I want to go
can't.
the Flow for Wild ride.
As you go downward, the cave narrows slightly before it opens up into a much larger cavern.
Oh.
Turn the page.
Oh.
Oh
The music
no.
is changing.
Mhm.
Awful.
And a vast cavern yawns before you all in a darkness that is almost too deep to see through, even for those of you with dark vision. It's sort of all-encompassing and overpowering, making you feel as if looking out into it for too long might just rob you of your sight completely. There are patches here and there where you see rocks and stalactites far out in the distance that are wrapped in a faint glowing moss, which shed dim light in just the immediate area of where it's growing. The sound of dripping water is a constant noise here as it bounces off the walls and rocks and echoes repeatedly. The rocky floor you're all standing on is slick and uneven, lit only by what little light is offered of the moss growing beneath your feet and the faint outline of Imran shown only thanks to the piece of glowing mushroom he's holding in his hands. You see Imran has approached the edge of this sort of small rocky outcrop you all have stood on, where he's making this quiet, like, clicking sound with his mouth, like he's trying to get something's attention as he's holding out this glowing piece of mushroom into the darkness above
What?
where you see the water is like lapping at his feet. And sure enough, you begin to hear the sound of like swishing water as something seems to be moving through it. And off to the side in front of Imran, you see the moss that's floating along the top of the water kind of lights up briefly as in 6 separate little spots as something moves closer and closer to where he is.
Oh. I can hear it.
You have sound effects going on?
It's great, isn't it?
Oh Lord,
That's
it coming.
Oh Lord, here's the boy.
And there's just enough light for you guys to see before Imran is a giant bug, for lack of a better term to use. It's this thing that stands on like 6 very thin, like twig-like legs that are all standing upon the water to keep it afloat. They attach at like a large disc kind of round disc-like body, and it lowers itself down to Imran's level. And I mean, this thing is a good, oh god, it would have to be pretty freaking wide. It's at least a good 15 to 20 feet wide with its body alone, not including the legs, and was
my God.
probably standing at nearly twice as tall. And it kind of crouches down to Imran and accepts the small bit of mushroom from his hands as it chews upon it. And he'll kind of look back at you all as he grabs what appears to be kind of a rope hanging off of it, or like a rope ladder, I should say, and says in a whisper, says, "Okay, come up."
So, Arca, you now feel kitty claws in your back.
Yeah, and Imran will kind of climb up last as he settles down near like the front of it. And you'll see from out underneath one of the leather straps, he pulls out what looks to be a wooden rod with like string attached to the end, and he'll pull one of the other mushroom parts out and like wrap it in string. And he'll look back at everyone and say, "Okay, hold on. It will be windy."
No, and how long of a journey is it gonna be?
He kind of takes a moment to like count on his fingers as he thinks about it. 8 hour.
Oh,
It's like a plane ride from hell.
yeah.
Basically, almost immediately, this thing takes off. And even though you have your wind wall up to prevent the wind from whipping in your face, you still can feel the sheer force of this thing as it moves. And it is faster than anything any of you have felt before. Surely some of you have been on horseback or, you know, riding in carts, things of that nature. This thing is moving so fast.
Oh my god.
You can hear the wind of it moving, just kind of like whistling and whipping by you guys. And you can see like the little patches of light where moss or whatnot are growing is just zooming by as this thing moves very quickly over the water. But after a moment, as you kind of adjust to how fast it's going and holding on to these leather straps for dear life, you settle down, and it's, you know, easy enough to at least get a little comfortable. Oh, that's way
What was that?
nothing.
That didn't
Oh.
sound like nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Oh,
Down.
boy.
Fine.
So I'd like everyone to please roll a d20 for me.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Why are we?
Oh Jesus Christ.
He can't take his own advice. It's fine.
It's so bad.
All right, Narzselas with a nat 1.
Oh, geez.
Oh, dang.
Oh,
With a
Yavari.
You've only got a natural 20.
I
Here we go.
Team Beastman's having a problem right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm just glad I actually rolled higher than 10 for
Same.
once.
Thank God.
High
you
fives,
are
Yavari.
coming in clutch.
Oh, geez, okay.
Oh, somebody else got a nat 22.
That was a GM roll, which makes me very afraid.
It's-
It's just me rolling for the
The NPC crew.
Oh, okay. Good.
yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah,
makes
if it was-
it better.
So
If it
two are
was a
safe.
GM roll, we'd be
What's that noise?
gone.
One noise.
Oh, that's fantastic.
What noise? What noise? What noise
That's fine.
Starion says?
That's fine. I don't know what you're talking about. As you all are going along this water strider for a little while, you feel like you have that feeling on the back of your neck as if someone's looking at you. That kind of like, for some people, will kind of cause the hairs on the back of their neck to rise up. And you have this very sudden urge to look out towards the water.
Oh no.
Huh.
And so you look, just take a glance, and you see in the water, somehow floating alongside this water strider, despite how fast it's moving, you see a body floating there
Oh.
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 of a drow
Oh,
with
here it
dark
is.
skin.
Oh.
You can't do this.
Oh. No.
Not recognize the bodies in the water.
Oh no.
with dark skin and white hair.
Oh
That-
no.
You can't fucking do this.
Oh,
Oh.
ouch.
And wearing black clothing that with like hints of purple and what look like purple feathers around the neck,
Oh,
and
no.
stark white hair. And as you look, even if it's just a brief glance, you see as soon as you look at him, his red eyes open and look up at you.
Oh my
Oh
god.
god.
No.
I
And
can't do it.
And in your mind, you hear a voice. You see his lips move, but you don't really hear the voice coming from his body, as you just hear a very familiar voice whisper, "It's your fault, you know."
Oh,
Oh shit.
Ooh.
Narzselas just kind of peers through the darkness. Like he's moved at this point, just a little, to kind of rest over the water strider's back, and he's looking down, and his eyes are narrowed, and I hate this. He recognizes it, and you just hear the softest little whisper. You just hear, "Stress."
Oh.
Oh.
No, 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 no.
What do you?
And I mean, none of you hear like what Narzselas is hearing. But Narzselas, you'll hear the voice say, "It's your fault I died.
Oof.
oh.
Oh.
Why didn't you do anything?"
And Narzselas just reaches over and like grabs the edge of the water strider. You can hear the wind, but he's just staring, and his eyes are getting bigger and bigger, and the party will finally just hear him say like, "Guys."
And Rush looks up,
Huh?
and he'll immediately grab for Narzselas' arm.
And
Oh.
he'll try to pull it away. He's like, wait, guys, we have to stop.
No, we
Narzselas.
No.
Guys,
Narzselas,
no,
no.
look, he's down there.
no.
And if any of you look over the edge of the water strider, you will not see anything in the water.
Narzselas, are you okay?
Stress
What
is
do you
down there. I
see?
have to stop. I have to get him.
No, we can't stop.
Didn't you tell
There's
us not to
nothing down
stop?
there.
Oh god.
And Resh will like pull at Narzselas to pull him back and away. And he'll say, "Narzselas, it's not real, whatever you are seeing."
No, he says it's my fault. He's right.
It's not.
Guys,
Listen to your brother. Don't stop. Please don't stop.
Sorry.
Resh will try to tug Narzselas enough to pull him fully away.
he'll let him. But he's very upset.
Narzselas, it's okay. It's just messing with you.
He's shaking his head a little. He's like, "Oh no! It's his face. He fell into the water."
Don't
Oh my god.
don't you said so. Don't do it. Don't it's
Know
not,
what I said?
No.
What am I supposed to do?
Don't stop.
This place is trying to trick you.
Ignore it, okay?
He'll just pull his hands up over his face and just
Oh.
kind of sink back down.
Resh will sit down next to him and put a hand on his shoulder very gently.
And Narzselas will kind of reach up with both of his hands and put them over his ears and lean very, very heavily into the side, like between Resh and his arm.
Resh will just kind of hold him there. You've heard faint whispering echoing around you guys, and none of them really catch your attention as you keep yourself focused on your spell as much as you can. You know, saying, okay, I have to keep this up, you know, for everyone. And one of those whispers suddenly speaks up louder than the rest in your mind as you hear a familiar voice saying, "Such a shame, Miss Bauer.
Oh.
You are down here surrounded by enemies. How do you know you can trust them?" As you hear the voice of Minister Yakan.
Oh. No, Minister, you come on.
The Minister, you can't.
And,
Spell.
Yeah, spell.
Just focus on the spell.
So we'll just try to ignore it and continue just sort of looking into the darkness.
And you'll hear his voice continue. You know, it is so convenient how you all escaped so easily, and how convenient it is you are going to the largest drow city in all the Underdark. Do you not find that strange, Miss Bauer? How do you know you can trust these drow?
And I think at this point, Tove is beginning to waver a little bit, and she just starts like mumbling to herself, shut up, just shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Just shut up.
Don't I? You have seen what Narzselas is capable of. You do not know what Resh is capable of. As a house assassin, he could kill all of you in the blink of an eye.
Narzselas wouldn't hurt us. He wouldn't let that happen.
Wouldn't he?
And I think at this point, Tove is, she's really struggling. And she just sort of like turns her head towards where she would, I guess, suspect the other members of the party are, and should just be like, can somebody please just, can somebody talk about something, please? Anything?
So, Taffy is like, okay, so Taffy is like pressed up as flat as he can to like the back of this thing, and he's like bound his arms up in the leather straps. So like he physically like couldn't let go. And he's like, what? Yeah, oh no. So Taffy hears Tove, talk about something. He's like, oh, and he's like, hey, quick question. I was curious. I don't really do a lot of farming, but what season do you usually like? What do you plant this season? by the way. You know, meant to ask for a friend. As he's like gripped like deathly to the back of this bug, like laid out as flat as he can. Like even though the wind's not blowing in his face, his eyes are squinted and he's just staring dead straight. Like this thing is moving real fast.
And Tove just sort of starts prattling off different vegetables and types of grain that they would be planting, and just like hope that like drown out the voice of Minister Yakon.
Taffy's like, oh, that's interesting. You know, I heard that goes great in a salad. I never had that over in. Not that I eat really a lot of salads. Probably should. You know, it's
Oh my god.
you know, probably it's good for you out here. I didn't have any of those at Abydos. Oh man.
Arca, you suddenly hear the sound of something splashing.
Oh no!
And you hear a young girl's voice calling out as you hear her say, Arca, help, I can't fly. You'll recognize it.
Uh-oh.
You'll recognize it as the voice of one of your younger sisters.
Oh,
no.
Oh. Arca immediately like jolts off, and you hear her say, Rhea? Rhea, what are you doing down here?
Rather than answering, you hear her say, help, I can't swim. The others are close, but I can't reach them.
Oh.
Oh.
Arca starts moving towards the edge of the water bug. And he reaches into his pack and he starts like searching for his length of rope. And
No.
the other partners probably like hear him saying like, Rhea, hold on, just a minute longer. I'm on my way to help you.
Yulia's probably seen this like, Arca, back away right now. I don't know who Rhea is, but she's not here. You are. Just come back to my voice, okay?
No, she's there. She needs my help.
No,
She's
Arca.
my sister.
Arca, I know. She's not there. I promise you she's not there. She's... Well, I don't know where your home is. Tell me more about your home. Tell me about where you live with your sister.
No, you're right. She's supposed to be on the cars, but what if she went looking for me? What if she's down here?
No.
What if she got caught?
No. What? Yeah, I know you all. I'm sure you all love the sky. I know you love the wind, your wings, your freedom. Would she really be down here where she can't see the sky?
She wouldn't. No.
Okay.
No.
So she's not here. Just come back over here. Don't look down there, because she's not there. You won't find anything. Okay?
But
Taffy, is Yulia works on calming Arca down, apparently hearing the voice of his sister. You hear a sudden gruff voice from off to the side somewhere saying,
Oh no.
Taffy, I'm feeling rather disappointed. So you'll recognize this as the voice of Old Man 3 Whiskers.
Oh
no.
This is no.
Oh no.
Just snaps his gaze to the side, just smacks Arca in the face with his tail.
You don't see anything out in the darkness.
Oh.
Not at first, as you'll just hear his voice say, getting caught up with all these rapscallions. I thought You were better than that, Taffy. Better than where we came from.
Oh, no. So his tail flops up, and he like you see like he's puffing up, and he goes back to looking straight, just straight dead ahead. He's like, "It's not real. It's not real. You're not here. You wouldn't be here. Why would you be here? You wouldn't be here."
Oh, I'm here because I was worried about you, Taffy. It's you see now looking up ahead on kind of one of the small patches of light you can see off to the side where the moss is growing upon a large rock that's jutting out from the water. You see what almost looks to be the outline of a tabaxi standing out there on the rock. And he'll say, "Really, though I wanted to let you know that you shouldn't bother coming back to Abydos. There's no way I can let you back into the guild now."
Oh.
It's like, so he stays as he's watching this moss like approach and start to pass by, and he's like, "It wasn't my fault. I didn't do anything. I didn't do it. Like I could prove it."
Can you?
Yeah, I can prove. Look, we got the princess here. I've got witnesses. And then he like he catches himself and he like shakes his head. It's like, "I didn't do it. It wasn't my fault. I didn't do anything wrong. There's nothing wrong. Wait, no, it's not me. No. It was the guild. It was the guild. There's bad actors. There's bad actors in the guild. I need to warn you. We need to." He's stumbling over his words. Like he's trying desperately to convince himself it's not real, but he's obviously failing. as he goes, it's like, "It was Gwen. It was Gwen's fault. Gwen did it."
And he's saying all this aloud, I imagine.
Yes, he's saying this all aloud.
And as you do, as you mention the princess, like Nielkish kind of looks up curiously. And she kind of glances around, not seeing anyone talking to him, and she'll say, "Taffy, are you okay? I think you're talking to yourself."
Oh.
He's like, and so he like his arm snaps to like, because he goes to try and rub his face, but his arms are so bound up in the straps that it gets rubber bands back. And he's like, yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. I was just going over the plan, that I have when I see, as he stares at the moss covered like stalactite pass by, just staring at Three Whiskers. When I see when I get home, and he closes his eyes, and then he just slams his face into the back of the bug he's riding on.
And as he does so, Nielkish will just say, "Whatever it was, I'm sure it's not your fault."
Right, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
Poor Taffy.
Poor Taffy.
Yeah, poor Taffy,
Poor
truly.
Taffy.
Oh, it's okay.
It's fine.
He'll survive. He'll be fine.
It's fine.
If he says it's not his fault enough times.
You'll believe it eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yulia.
No.
Oh, boy.
As you hear Nielkish, speaking with Taffy, trying to bring him back to reality, you'll hear a sudden voice crop up from the side, who says, "Yulia, my dear, it's been so long." As you hear the voice of your mother.
Oh no.
Mama Yulia.
What are you doing down here?
No. They're actually saying this out loud. Like, no. Mama, you're not here. You can't be here. There's no way you're here.
Of course
Oh
I
my
am,
God.
dear. Really, you should just come with me. Come for a little swim, and we can
Oh.
go back home together.
Oh no! No! No!
And we can
Eh,
forget. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead. Like they're just like deep breathing at this point.
Just come home with me. We'll see your father, your brother and sister. They'll be so happy to see you again. We can put all these awful things behind us.
Oh my God!
And hearing their mother's voice because they haven't heard it in months, and having flashbacks to like the last couple of days up until they left home. As much as they try to convince themselves they know that's not their mom, they can't help but saying, "You're all not mad at me for leaving."
Oh,
Of course not, dear. We just want you back home. Just come, join me for a swim.
oh God!
Just a quick little dip in the pond.
Yeah.
This is
No.
horrifying. This is terrifying. Oh God!
Yulia would have sat themselves down next to Yavari for just safety buddy purposes.
Yeah.
And like hearing that and just the way that it's so convincing, like they'll start like leaning towards the edge, like looking for the source of their mother's voice.
Oh, Zavari, like, will place a hand on her, like, on her shoulder or something, or at least like wrap her arm around her arm to keep or their arm to keep Yulia safe and secure, to make sure they don't go overboard.
And
So
As-
it's fine.
as you look out in the water, Yulia, you see what vaguely appears to be a large yellow eye staring
Oh.
up at you from beneath the water.
Oh, hell
But
no.
almost as soon as you look at it, it blinks out of existence.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that.
And that's enough for them to just completely like flinch back or right in, almost kind of crashing into Yavari. and you'll
Zavar just
and-
what?
and Yavari will just hear them say, "That's not her. That's not her. That's not Mama. I don't know what that is, but that wasn't Mama. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine." And they're just kind of you just hear them repeat, "It's fine. It's fine. It's fine," even though clearly it is not fine.
God. Yavari will be like, what? She is so confused, but at the same time, she just kind of pulls Yulia back to her, and like puts an arm around their shoulders and goes, "It's calm down. This place, it's out to get you. All right, take a couple deep breaths. It's fine."
As you come up to the shore, Imran will kind of be the first to descend as he throws down the little rope ladder to get down onto the ground so he can lower the water strider for the rest of you. And you look out before you into an area of land with a rather low-hanging ceiling covered in stalactites that are reaching down like sharp claws. You see there's pillars of stone and what almost looks like petrified wood reaching up towards the ceiling, which supports, all of the rock above your heads. It's completely lit up by these dazzling purple crystals that shine and glow almost like specks of starlight amidst the darkness of the Underdark. Imran will quickly help you all down off of the water strider as best he can. So you all can get your feet on solid ground again, as you've now been sitting for a good 8 hours,
Ugh.
so you are stiff and sore and tired.
Oh.
Taffy stumbles off onto the ground, just kind of falls, trips onto his knees, and you just hear him go, "I need a hug."
Oh, you probably will give him a hug.
Julia would give him a hug. Whoever wants a hug. The giant hug circle. How about
Giant
that?
hugs.
Right, we all got traumatized on this roller coaster we didn't ask for.
And you all come into this really large cavern where, spikes of rock are growing out from the ground and stalactites are still hanging from the ceiling. And everything is fairly dark, save for the source of this red-pink light beside you is a lantern. Like one lone lamppost. You're not sure why it's here, as there's no other immediate signs of like civilization or life of any sort. Just this one single lamppost. That seems to be
ominous.
it seems to be glowing thanks to like a crystal inside of it rather than like any sort of fire. So yeah, what would you guys like to do? If you'd like to just continue onward, or if there's anything you all would like to talk about as you're going.
So they're going on, right? And Taffy kind of asks, like, "Dang, that was what was that spell you just did?"
Oh, that's called Fireball. And as Narzselas goes, he's kind of like, he's got one hand on his right arm, just sort of rubbing up and down as he talks, and he's like, I learned it a while ago. I just never got the chance to use it. It's a little bit dangerous.
Dang, no joke.
No joke.
There was a time I actually didn't know how to cast magic.
Really? You seem pretty natural at it.
Well, I like to think that I've gotten better over time on my own, but really, it's not like Yavari. She's a wizard. She can just get a spell out of a book and learn it. And I have to watch other people cast things. So I remember at one point she cast this big fire thing, and I wanted to have fire, so.
So, like, can you just like cast that just over and over again?
Well, I don't. I think I can cast it again.
Man. So he's like looking between the various party members. Is like, wait, I just realized all of you can cast magic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to an extent.
Well, I think you can all cast magic.
I mean, there's magic touches to, I guess, bardic arts, but
Oh, is
I
that
don't
not
know if
magic?
I don't know. I don't quite know. It doesn't feel quite the same as like what Yavari and Narzselas can do, but it feels like explain. It feels similar, but it's not.
Huh. Man.
No. I don't know if I would call what I do necessarily magic, but
Anima can be transferred through the body in many different ways. The way that I understand the way that sorcerers and wizards like Yavari would cast is that we're actively changing the shape of anima and manipulating it into something else around us, whereas I think, Renarian, correct me if I'm wrong, healing has to do more with emotion.
Well, I suppose it depends on the spellcaster, really, but most healing is... It helps to focus on emotions when casting healing spells.
Huh.
Maybe that's why we don't have many drow healers.
Man, that's pretty wild. I mean, I've seen and heard about the Neferu's lightning and stuff, and I hear about it all the time with travelers through through Abydos, but I've never actually like been up and close and seen someone detonate a fireball that close to me before. That's something special.
Yeah. Special in a good way, or
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. I mean, I love me some. I love all the technology. But I always found magic's kind of neat to see every once in a while, and I don't get to see it up close and personal all that often.
Fair enough.
It kind of like
Likewise, it's very impressive.
Anyway, shouldn't we get going through the dark and scary tunnel?
oh yeah, sorry.
Actually,
Yeah, sure.
Rush, I've never even heard of a place like this. Are we even still in the Nightlands?
I believe so. At the very least, we are probably along the edge of it.
So you've never been.
I've not taken this route before, no.
Great.
We're not lost, are we?
No.
Imran
Lost in the
quickly will
Underdark.
Imran will quickly pipe up. No. Way still ahead. We are okay.
Are we
Okay,
close to
good.
Elon?
So where?
Elon?
Not me having to check the map.
Same.
And Imran thinks about it before shaking his head, says, no, that's other side of... Or in Drow, he'll just quickly say, no, that's the other side of the river. We should be on, like, the very edge of Mithranve soon. Once we get past some of these caves.
Good.
How much of a trek is it?
I mean, to get to the center of the city might take another half a day of traveling, but it's very large.
Oh,
But we should reach the edge of it soon.
Oh my god, when we get to Mithranve, I can have real food.
yeah. Not gonna lie, I'm pretty dang hungry.
I
I'm
would
tired.
kill for crickets right now.
Oh.
I'll take a mushroom at this point.
Hell, I'll eat a cricket.
Same.
Yeah,
So good,
honestly,
Dad.
you know what?
So good.
Are they like seasoned? Do they season their cricket? You guys season your crickets down here?
They cover them in honey and fry them.
Honey! Oh, I love honey.
Yes.
No.
Even though
Sounds
it's
pretty
silly,
good,
that sounds
actually.
great.
I put these little chili peppers on them so they're both sweet and spicy.
Oh,
Oh.
you hear Taffy's tummy literally start grumbling.
You know, Taffy, I bet that you'd love undersea eel.
Wait, you guys? Oh man! Oh, I was gonna ask, but I didn't. I felt like it might have been rude. You got what kind of seafood you got down here?
Kinds. We have so many rivers. There's crabs. There's under lobsters. You know, there's all kinds of fish with big sharp teeth.
He's starting to he's starting to drool.
Oh,
wipes
no.
his mouth. Like, oh man. Oh,
We
how?
always have fish with really spicy sauces. I'm starving. Oh,
How many hours is it till we get to the edge of town?
Right.
I'm just
We have
moving
to
you
fight
all
our
up.
way.
yeah. Actually, Rush, don't you have a house in Mithranve?
I do, yes.
Oh man, you have to live right next to the Dorat Manor. That's where all the good shit is. Ugh.
It is nice, yes.
I mean, it's also probably nice that you don't have to talk to Ashe all the time.
certainly is. That's been the only positive thing about being away from the Throne Bay.
Yeah?
Not to pry, but who is that?
Ashe is my. What? Bela, real quick question. Would it just be
I'll just say,
mate? Oh.
kind of, Resh is Ashe's fourth consort.
Oh. I'm sorry.
It's quite alright. It's not a problem.
Why are you sorry?
I mean, I wouldn't like it if I was forced to be somebody's consort. So,
I think Resh chose it.
Oh,
I heard the word force, so I went with it.
Oh, no, fourth. Force.
Oh, force. Okay, I heard force.
The number 4.
Oh, got you. Never mind. Sorry. I take that back. Oh. Just,
As you guys
Ivari will just nod and be like, oh, okay. Okay.
Aw,
Learning so much today.
right?
right?
Yeah.
As you guys continue onward into this large cavern, it narrows at first before opening up into something much larger with a very high ceiling that you can hardly see the top of. And the light in here comes from anima crystals, but rather than purple, you see the clusters of these crystals are yellow and pink. It's a color you've not seen before, and it's not really one you'd expect to see down here. Or at least from what you can assume, seeing as all the crystals so far have been purple. But it does cast a very faint light over the entire cavern, which lights up the place fairly well.
Would you happen to know, Rush, Narzselas, or anyone really, why the anima is so colored differently?
You mean the crystals?
Or the shards? Or the crystals?
Well, I know that the violet crystals that we've passed are imbued with energy from Lolth, like mine is.
Oh.
I've never seen anything like these before.
Oh. I guess these must be another energy. Maybe what's her name? Elistrai?
Elistrai isn't a demiurge. She doesn't radiate anima.
Oh.
She's half drow.
Oh.
And Narzselas will kind of walk forward a little bit just to kind of get a better look at the giant crystals around them. He's like, it's just weird. I don't think Varan would have any either, so. And he'll turn towards Resh and Imran and say, you guys don't know of any other demiurges that are near here, do you?
Rush shakes his head. Imran looks a little thoughtful as he says, we are somewhat close to, he's kind of struggling for the word, Damavant?
The mountains, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, this actually must be really close to Mount Ragemore.
Yes, dwarves say Duraz there.
Oh.
I guess that would make sense.
So these crystals are imbued.
Well, not so much imbued the way that I've understood it from my education is that the crystals are actually formed from dense quantities of anima that just kind of bind together. Like Tove, for example, and he'll turn toward her. Like, your whole body is made up of anima, but it's not so condensed that it starts to harden. Whereas, down here it's so thick that it does.
Huh.
That makes sense.
This sort of anima is also what allows people to cast spells sometimes. So it's
Right.
why, wearing beast cores is so important to some people.
That makes sense.
Actually, hearing back, don't most of you guys have yellow or pink beast cores?
Huh.
Yes, actually.
That's weird.
Why is it weird if...
I'm just wondering. I mean, we saw a bunch of blue ones up in East Oft, if you remember. Never seen a blue beast core before.
Oh. Now that you
Yuvari
mention
pulls out
it,
her little beast core locket and looks at it. It's not blue. Oh, you're right though. Okay. And tucks it back into her little cloak.
As you all are discussing this, Rush also is kind of poking his head forward, just looking around, and seems to think it's safe, so he just kind of keeps moving, purely curious about these anima crystals. Certainly not something I've heard of before.
I think you've seen one of them up close and personal, at least.
Not the same.
Yeah,
Kind of. Oh, I'm sorry?
No, he just said, yeah, I guess.
And as he approaches, he stops and tilts his head as he seems to kind of notice something a little strange, and kneels downward, and you see kind of at the base of the crystal appears to just be laying this old black cloak. For lack of a better term, from what faint light you see, appears to be made of leather. And out of curiosity, Resh goes to touch it, thinking, perhaps it belonged to someone, or seeing as there was the lamppost earlier, perhaps someone was still nearby. And all of a sudden, the cloak swishes away from him.
Oh, great.
Live garments, yeehaw.
Doctor Strange.
And suddenly, all around you guys, it's as if the stalagmites are coming to life.
Oh
as
no.
the rocks shift and move and curl. As before you, they take shape into these odd creatures of tentacles and pointy heads that look much like squid in a sense, but completely fine without water to be in.
Oh God.
Well, Taffy, you wanted your seafood. Is this close enough?
Narzselas will just
Great.
go, oh, Resh, what did you do?
Oh, this is not what I thought.
And he goes to speak, but then the cloak that he had touched also swirls up into this huge beast that seems to be, with wings that span nearly 10 feet in total, as it snarls with pointed teeth at all of you. That's where we're going to leave the session for tonight.